Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another interview. This one is all about how do you perform at Edinburgh. I have two people that you already know. Well, you know Paul, but we don't know Bones yet. So please introduce yourself and tell the camera about what you do.
How you doing? My name's Bones, aka Magical Bones. I'm a breakdancing magician, and I love hip hop, and I try and incorporate that in most of my magic effects.
He's actually really good.
I'm a musician.
He's being very modest,
crime.
but he's really good. Okay, let's go straight into this point, because this video is all about Edinburgh, and both of you have done Edinburgh. I haven't, but I know some of you watching decided, you know what, maybe I want to do Edinburgh, the Fringe Festival we're talking about. So let's talk about your experiences at Edinburgh. So how many years have you done?
Oh no, but I only did it last year. It was the first time. I missed it this year because, and we'll probably get onto that, Edinburgh is crazy expensive.
Okay.
I couldn't afford it this year, but we'll be doing the full run next year.
Okay, so you've done it 1 year.
So I've done it 1 year, yeah.
What about you?
It was my first time doing it this year, and I did the full run, and I had an amazing experience, loved it, and yeah, I think it's something that every magician should do.
But you've done underbelly stuff, like, was it, because you did it last year as well?
Well, in London I've done underbelly, I've done 2 performances, I usually do 2 dates in London every year at the underbelly on the South Bank.
So what is underbelly?
Come a little closer.
So underbelly is basically is part of the 4 big companies that do Edinburgh Fringe. So you know, you have Gilded Balloon, you have the Pleasance, you have the Assembly Rooms, and you have Underbelly. These are the umbrella companies that have shows that perform, that take shows to perform on there. So you can program your show in the Underbelly, Assembly Rooms. They're the 4 big ones that everyone sort of recognises.
Yeah, and then in Edinburgh, in Edinburgh they've all got that kind of like, they're very visible when it's that underbelly, and in certain areas you kind of like have like hangout points where it's kind of like almost like little almost like villages spring up during the festival.
Okay.
And in London, Underbelly's branched out to have a venue in the South Bank, and that's what it's talking about, me doing the venue in the South Bank every year. I've done it for like 4 years now, and they program me for like 2 dates. They need to program me for more dates, but
hire this man.
He's really good. Okay. So let's talk about what kind of a routine would you do for Edinburgh. Now, Edinburgh is a show, it's a stage show, so you could do parlour, you couldn't do close-up, couldn't you?
No, you absolutely can, 100% can. So Edinburgh's got everything. Now, I'm not the same as Bones.
Oh, is that true?
There was some.
We kind of look at that now.
Just wing it. Just frothy banter, people. That's frothy banter. By that I mean Bones is, you know, famous and bankable.
Right.
You're not. I'm not. No. So he's right about the 4 big ones, but also you have what I did, which is the Free Fringe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get I use PBH Free Fringe, but there's other ones as well. And what that is basically. Edinburgh, we said earlier, it's expensive, and it really is.
So let's talk about the cost then.
Yeah, okay. Well,
let's do what you do first.
So, but what PBH will do for you, or any other Free Fringe, is you get your venue, and you don't pay for the venue. It's free, but you don't ticket.
Okay.
People will give a donation as they leave on what they think
kind of like
it's worth. Yeah, but the difference is that. For a show like Bones, you get to have, you know, your lighting and sound, and for mine, you walk on, and if you're lucky, you've got some black fabric behind you, and you got if you're really lucky. I was spoiled. I had a wing when I did mine. I was really spoiled.
It's essentially basically
it's the actual fringe.
The fringe is the Free Fringe is essentially like being able to do your street show on the stage. So if you treat the Free Fringe as if you were doing a street show, you know, where you just rock up, and now you don't have to worry about attracting the crowd, because in the Free Fringe the crowd's already there. So you've got to treat it a bit like that. I guess that's the way of looking at it.
Yeah. You can do absolutely that way. The other way. So I didn't do my street show for Fringe. I did a completely different one-man show about.
No, well, so let me just clarify what I mean. What I mean by, in terms of, I'm not saying do your actual street show.
Treat it like a street show.
Treat it like a street show.
Yeah, you absolutely can do that. Yeah.
You're just coming up. You've just got a spot.
Exactly. You can't expect to have. You aren't going to have lighting. You aren't going to have. I would you're really lucky if you can get like a spot. That is kind of wow. So you're really lucky if you get these kind of things. Sorry, you're absolutely right. It is basically you're rocking up. I would say do a Fringe show. Don't do don't be safe. Why would you?
Yeah.
Do something that's daring. Do something.
Wow, so because you did something very different. You spoke about mental health in your show.
Yeah. I mean, so I mean, those of you who haven't seen the mental health interviews, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a whole mental health thing, and it was less about magic and more about. It was almost like a performance art piece. That was some of the reviewers called it that. I was very, very happy with that.
So
and that's how I approached it.
Right.
But you should do.
So would you say do something really different? Because there's a lot of competition. Everyone's seen magic. I mean, most people will go to an Edinburgh show and say, well, yeah, I've seen you change paper and money and that sort of thing. So in terms of material, is it more personality? Or?
I think it's easier for me to do something completely out there than maybe, and you can jump in a second, but than something where they're ticketed and they're paying, and so it becomes more about, if I pay X amount of money to see Al Murray at Edinburgh Fringe, I do not expect him to come on and do something completely bonkers and off the wall that he's not known for. I would not expect that. And so when you come in where I am, kind of the lower end of the venues, that you can get away with being a bit more off the wall. And I saw some really bizarre stuff that I really loved during the Free Fringe. It's Edinburgh, it's a broad church, and there's room for everything.
You know what's interesting, because it's all different perspectives. My perspective from Edinburgh is slightly different. I think the amazing thing about the Fringe is the variety of types of show. It's like, actually, there is no rules. You can do whatever you want. And my personal advice is to do something that, one, you enjoy, something that's you. Because a lot of people say to me, oh, I want to try and be different. Well, we are all different, So if you just try and be yourself and just look at what's unique about you, what do you like, and how do you interpret a piece of magic the way you do, that's the first part of being able to, draw out a unique routine. If you're just saying, this is what I love. I like chess, for example. I've never created a magic routine based around chess, but I'm thinking about it now. But yeah, I am actually just thinking about it. But for example, if you're a fan of chess, if you're a fan of books, if you're a fan of reading, start within that first, I think. And that, we're all unique people, so then you can draw upon that. I don't think that a magic routine is the same. Even if I show Extreme Burn and you show Extreme Burn, it doesn't matter, because we're all going to perform it differently.
And this is great advice, not just for the Fringe. This is like performing magic.
Just in general.
It really is. But what I will say is, if you go my route and do the Free Fringe, be aware that I had one guy came to see my show, and he literally had got the 2 different Free Fringe books, and he ticked off every magician so you could go see every single one. So if you're doing something and there's nothing wrong with doing shop bought tricks. We all kind of will buy a trick and we'll do it. But be aware that if you're doing that, there will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other Free Fringe magicians doing that routine. So if you're going to do it, you need to do it so differently.
I think like
so differently.
It's perspective in how you view routines, because like, for example, if you see comedians, when we talk about, if you talk about comedy or you talk about anything in terms of that's personal, there's only things you can talk about is health, wealth, love. Yeah. Or what's the fourth one? I've forgotten what the fourth one is. But there's these 4 things that people all relate to, and I think like the same applies in magic. It's like, we're all doing a card trick, find a card. We're all doing the coins are vanishing, reappearing, or money's changing, or torn and restored. It's not really about that though. I think like what makes those routines unique is what you attach to it.
No, 100%, but you need to make it unique. And if you are doing a popular routine,
if you're doing it out of the box,
if you're doing a popular
it's
routine,
not going to help.
And even if you are bringing something to it, be aware that they will have seen a Rubik's Cube miraculously appear made behind their back, or these people will have seen these things. So if you're doing
actually, yes and no. I think magic I disagree with that. So I think magic fans have seen a Rubik's Cube. Magic fans have seen Extreme.
But when you do Free Fringe, this is lived experience.
Okay.
Be really careful if you're doing something that is a popular trick. Lived experience from an audience perspective.
Like what?
Okay, sorry. Right, so I was in a show, and basically a guy's going to say, change it behind your back, change it behind your back. Okay. And he's like, have you ever solved a Rubik's Cube before? Apparently I magically did it this morning in another show. And then it was the same trick,
Yeah.
exactly the same trick, basically.
Okay, let's-
And he pulled it
okay.
out, and that was awkward. And then
So wait, so so because the trick you're talking about, I do that in my show.
Yes.
So
but your show's different. Yours isn't. That's what I'm saying. So free fringe shows, a magic fanatic, rather than paying money to go to shows, will go. Well, I can see 4 magic shows a day at the fringe without paying for it or giving a small amount of money. So they will, and they do, and they tick them off. So if you're doing a trick, even that is commercial. If you are not dressing this up in a really different way or doing it in a completely different way, these people who are geeky about magic, and we're geeky about magic, so that's fine.
yeah.
They have.
Yeah, but they're a niche.
By the way, I should say that both sides will argue for anything.
No. I want to just say, I think that's a niche because I think
No,
like
it is.
it's rare to find someone who's, if you're a magic fan, you're a magic fan. You've probably seen all the tricks that we're going to do.
Well, I think you didn't see my show, did you, Bones?
No, but if you're a magic fan, you probably
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of routines. You know a lot about magic. So I think those people are a niche. You're not really
of course
trying to
they are.
perform. You're trying to capture the people who they've never seen.
No, but
magic
what
show.
I'll say is, if
You're
you're
saying
gonna-
at the free fringe.
Yeah. But no. This is more fun. You can do it. He can cut this if you don't like it.
But I don't want to cut anything.
No, but what I'm going to say, I'm going to jump in really quickly. If you are going to go to, if you're going to do free fringe, you're going to go to Edinburgh. Just play around with your presentations.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And we will
let's-
leave it there.
Let's move on to the next one because I understand both points and I have.
What's your view on it?
Come on.
I don't want to. Okay, I
Give
don't want to
us
give
defense.
my
Give
view
defense
because
for it.
I haven't done
Who's
Edinburgh.
right, me or him?
I haven't done Edinburgh,
Name
so
it
I'm
now.
not going to
Say it.
Let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about how do you get there traveling. Let's talk about cost of money. So you fly there, you take a
You
train.
got you got a personal jet, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a
Private
He's got a private jet. Okay.
No, do you know what? You're right. Edinburgh Fringe is an investment. And actually, I did the first one this year, but speaking to people who've been doing Edinburgh for years, it's a 5-year investment.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's not something you do and you expect to just make it. So what you're doing is perfect because you go there and you say, right, I'm going to do the free fringe first of all. In fact, the first year, I think, go there with no expectations.
I went expecting to lose £1,000.
That's great
that's
because
why I budgeted £1,000.
yeah,
And
you
to
always
lose.
expected to lose
You don't
money.
expect it to make you
No.
lose money. Wow.
Because you're paying for. I think first of all, your first 2 years is paying for the experience. You're paying to learn. So you get there, you're learning how it works. It's mental.
Yeah.
It's literally mental.
Thousands of shows.
You're waking up. You're flying the whole day, and then you go and you do your show,
Right.
and then you're mixing and mingling, and all you're doing is selling your show, performing your show, selling your show, performing your show.
You might do guest spots as well if you want to get noticed. They might do 2 or 3 guest spots.
Which
in a
is
day
still
as
selling
well.
your show. But predominantly, you're just selling and performing your show. So you're learning how that all works first of all, and then if you're good, which you should be because you've been practicing, you've rehearsed all month and 2 months.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is people come, they give you great reviews, and you start to build up an audience of fans. And what's interesting about Edinburgh is that Edinburgh works really best by word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's
a
the
good point.
main way
Word of
people.
mouth.
I mean, online, yes, you can get some pre-ticket sales and stuff like that. And mainly, it's word of mouth.
Yeah, that
Have you
first-
heard of that new show? Have you heard
Yeah,
of this guy?
exactly.
Have you heard of
First
that
week,
guy?
and the buzz builds up. By the way, can I give a top Edinburgh tip?
Okay.
Take a day off. Take 1 day off a week.
Yeah, you must take a day
You've
off.
got to. I didn't. I did 2.5 weeks. I didn't take a day off, and you can. By my last 5 performances were just they were ropey.
I'm thinking I could manage without day off, but
No,
So-
you can't.
It's
Okay.
tough.
You think no,
Wow.
because you are
Mentally draining.
flying.
it's
You're
kind of like
performing
having
all the time.
Blackpool the whole time.
No,
No,
it's
it's
different.
not.
It's
You-
a different
no.
experience.
And also,
Wow.
again, I was doing a one-man show. I'm doing free fringe. I had no support. So you're doing this flyering, and you want to be able. It's demoralising because so many people are like no. And if they do take a fly, you want to go yes, but you've got no one to do that to. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you? Flying
I didn't do a flying. I
doesn't need to.
I did.
Hey guys, you did a flyering for me.
No, okay. So I'm like,
joking.
it's good. It's good that you've got two different ways of doing the fringe because I've got a totally different perspective. I was in Underbelly. I had a PR team. I had production manager, which is a slightly different way to do it. especially for your first.
I would rather do it his way.
No, but it's good to have-
100%.
But it's good to have both of you with your points here. That's important, isn't it?
So
Good
you know,
experience.
if you get a producer, the producer will get a team of flyers, which most of the time can be shit. So you have to watch your flyers and make sure they're actually paying.
They're all, I mean, that's it. Paying for flyers, like you see that basically they're standing there like this.
Yeah.
That's not going to get.
So you need to make sure you speak to your flyers, bring them to your show. So at least they're passionate. If they see your show and they like you and they like your show, at least they have a little bit of passion about selling your show. But mainly, your show is really going to sell from the word of the mouth. You at the end of each show, you say if people liked your show, tell your friends, tell your family. Tell them to come, because that's how it works in Edinburgh.
Absolutely.
People say, "Oh, that show's amazing."
Yeah, absolutely right. So I'm really exceptionally pretentious. So I was just like, I don't care. I did 2 hours flyering, and I was like, I can't be asked to do any more. And if I have 2 people in my audience, I don't care. I'll still perform. But my ticket sales absolutely, or audience numbers, where I'd still look at it, absolutely went up, and it was word of mouth, and it was really interesting who was coming along. I wasn't getting magic fans, I was getting mental health. Like people were saying, "Oh, this is amazing." So I was getting people coming along.
Your show.
So that was really. I had one girl. It was really interesting. She was brought by a magician who saw my show. He really liked it, so I'll bring some people along. And she self-harmed, and I give out a packet of razors in my show. And just one, because it's a free choice. There's a packet of razors. I didn't choose her because I saw the scars, so I was quite careful. I chose someone over here, and I said, "Okay, take anyone out you want, and you open it." So it was clearly a kosher razor, but they left the razor there, and she pocketed them, and she kept those razors because it was interesting. I was able to talk about it afterwards with the guy who brought it. He said, "No, she really wanted to self-harm with razor blades, but it's not about buying them. It was about finding them," and so she took them and. She would have done that, which is shocking, but also that's the life she lives and that's how she deals with her anxieties.
So your show contributed to someone self-harming themselves?
I would say it contributed to someone choosing the way they would self-harm. She was going to self-harm either way. But what I will also say is if you watch my show, you'll realise that one of the arguments I make is, it's not a definite answer, yes or no, but is self-harm actually bad? Fun fact, in this country we have one of the highest rates of self-harm in Europe. We have one of the lowest rates of suicide in Europe.
Really?
100%. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
But this was the idea behind the exactly. So it's like, hang on, what?
Let's go on to so when you want to book Edinburgh, so you watching at home thinking maybe I want to do this.
So you said, how did you get there?
So I was going to go to that point. So the same point is
so.
you watching. The first thing is you have to book a spot. How do you get that spot? Who do you call? Who do you email?
Well, again, it's very different. I'll let you talk about how you would have got.
So I did it through a producer. So I was already programmed in Underbelly in London, and I contacted a producer, which is Broken Robot Productions, and I said, look, I'm doing Underbelly in London. Probably want to go with Underbelly in Edinburgh because we're kind of a family now, and they just programmed me in because they've seen my show previously. If you do go down with a producer, they need to have seen your show and take you on and say, okay, you're good enough, and you pay them to do everything for you.
So they'll do everything for you. And what about you?
So for me, I applied to PBH as other free fringe you can apply to, and I submitted my idea for a show, and then I don't know the system they use. I'm pretty sure they kind of decide whether or not they like the show, and the more they like the show, the slightly, because there's some great venues you can get through PBH. They do like the Voodoo Rooms, which is
Voodoo Rooms is
big
great
thing, and like Ben Hart, Young and Strange, Dave Noren, had great shows. So Phil Jupiter does PBH, so there is a whole thing there. So but there's a whole gamut, and it was my first Edinburgh ever. And I was quite lucky. I got pretty good reviews, and they liked my act and they liked my show. So if I apply again, I might kind of.
I was going to make that point about doing it again and that sort of thing. But let's go into you book tickets, you email, you find your spot, you take your train or your plane or whatever.
Or as I did, a coach.
You did a coach.
The thing is, I sleep on coaches.
Wow.
So I was like, I could pay that amount for a train, or I could just go up on the coach, sleep on the coach, and I'll be there. But I also. The best thing, I brought a massive sledgehammer with me. I had like a huge sledgehammer right back. That was a stupid idea. That was so dumb.
I guess it depends on the type of show you got and what so my show is kind of like, I think I've upgraded to an illusion show because I finished with an illusion at the end. But it's a sort of, it's still kind of a pack small, play big, but then I do have bigger props. If you have a show that has big props, then it's advisable to take a train or something where you can,
or you can get them couriered up. I didn't courier my flyers. I brought them with me as well. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. I literally had them delivered to my house and thought, I just got to deliver them to the venue.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Yeah, so you courier your stuff up and
flyering,
and then just take whatever was the cheapest really, and you're comfortable with.
Yeah, like I'm perfect on the coach. I'll sleep on the coach, so I see no reason to pay for.
I actually drove up to Edinburgh actually.
Yeah.
So I drove.
So what you're saying is so next year.
Yeah, no, I'm not driving up again. It was a horrible drive, but yeah.
Okay, so
that's about travel.
Private flight.
What about accommodation?
Accommodation's where you get really, taken
right up the keystroke.
Yeah, taken to the yeah. Well, exactly.
So
what you said.
would you have to book accommodation before that?
Yeah.
or-
Okay, so you can, if you are Edinburgh Performer and you're registered through them, you can actually get a performer accommodation, which is slightly cheaper. But if you look at hotel rates in Edinburgh during the Fringe, they're insane.
I paid £2,000.
Yeah, you're paying hundreds a night.
paid £2,000.
I flew out, and I actually originally had crashed with a friend in Glasgow that was training in, but then that was really annoying for trains back. I got, because of my show, I literally didn't have enough time to do a full takedown and get back before the last train. But I got so lucky. A friend of a friend of a friend gave me a room, and it was like the most amazing thing, just in the Edinburgh suburbs. So it was just like a bus ride in.
Yeah. So
but that's not going to happen next year. But accommodations where the cost.
That's where you're really going to have to save up.
Accommodations.
So accommodation, travel, all that costs money. And you said you producers did. The big question is, did you actually make money in Edinburgh?
I lost maybe £900.
Okay, so you're kind of on budget.
But that was on budget for that. I knew I'd do that.
You knew you would do that.
But don't forget, that's without paying accommodation.
Right.
It's a bit weird for me because typically, and this is general. This is not like typically on everyone who does the Fringe for the first 1 or 2 years, maybe your third year. First 2 years you will lose money. However, I had an exceptional Fringe, and it was exceptional.
You're an exceptional performer, Bones.
Well, yeah, that too. But I did have an exceptional Fringe, and I sold out the entire run.
Oh, so you made money for sure.
So I made enough, a little bit of money on top. So,
but is that worth it though? I mean, if you're selling
that only someone who's never been to the Fringe would say that.
Right.
Only someone who's never.
So it's
been
more
to
of an
the
experience then.
Fringe. Okay, so the good thing about the Fringe, someone who's never done the Fringe before and doing it now.
Oh my goodness! Please set your phones to silent. It's Papa Regan. I'll call you back, Dad. I'll call you back.
Okay, so that's him leaving his phone in an interview. So sell it to me. So sell the idea to me.
The most important thing about the Fringe is, I think, one, you're going to see so many types of shows. So you're going to come back just with so much amazing ideas, so much knowledge.
It's insane.
It's just there's like 3,000 shows in the Fringe.
So people watching this and don't want to perform at Edinburgh, you can just go and watch.
And just watch shows, yeah. So the experience, number one. Two, you get to do your show 25 days non-stop. Sorry.
Okay. You come. I didn't have enough time to practice a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
I did 2.5 weeks, which is still actually quite a lot. And by the end of it, I had a show.
So there's two. What you just said is interesting because there's two ways of doing it. I had friends who'd gone up and said and did a weird kind of thing, which I don't agree with. But were like, I've kind of got a show, got some ideas together. But by the end of the 25 days, they had a show that was tight. Yeah. I was trying to get. I had a show ready, and now it's super tight.
Was your show the same as the Underbelly you'd done before?
It was based off this Underbelly I'd done before, so I'd already done 2 dates already at the Underbelly and done a couple of venues, so it was already going in for previews, kind of in shape, and then it became really tight by the end of it. The interesting thing though is like you're going to Edinburgh to sort of springboard your career if that's your goal. So what you're trying to do is trying to go there, get reviews.
It's an investment.
It's an investment in your career because not only does everyone go there, all the producers in telly, in theatre, in venues, all the buyers. There's so many people that will come to see.
I can just see the pound signs appearing in your eye right now.
No,
So for example,
I don't know.
you have everyone goes there. So if you want to do cruise ships, you're going to have all the entertainment bookers from cruise ships. If you want to do theatre, you're going to have all the entertainment bookers from theatre venues there. If you're interested in television, producers in television. So the idea is to create a buzz around your show. You go there, you get great reviews, the great word of mouth. Loads of bookers come and see the show.
Last Christmas I got bookings off the back of my Edinburgh show, 100%.
Exactly.
People were saying I was getting bookings from mental health charities and LD charities and that kind of thing. And it was totally because of literally one review.
The best way to look at it is it's one massive marketing campaign, one big PR campaign. That's what your Edinburgh Fringe is for.
That's the way to look at it if you're a mercenary. No, he's a mercenary. But the way I viewed it was I would not be able to do the show I did for that long anywhere other than Edinburgh. There's no way I could have done a show using magic to explore ideas around self-harm, suicide, mental health. It's just not a bankable show. It isn't, because people don't come out going, they come out shell-shocked. So for me, the way I used Edinburgh was to experiment with art we love.
I mean, that's the beauty of Edinburgh. But
I think you're 100% right. You can use that, and I just said I absolutely got bookings off the back of Edinburgh. I saw.
And what it leads to, so like I said, it's a 5-year business plan. So what it leads to is your first year you lose money, second year you lose less money, third year you break even, fourth year. If you've been going to the Edinburgh Fringe for 4 years, you would already been known, because there's so many regular people that go.
And that's the other thing, is there's the whole artist community as well that you're tapping into.
You build an audience, so people that I've seen him before, I've seen him, I saw him last year, he's great, he's great, so they come and you build this audience. So there's people who've been doing Edinburgh for 10 years, and for example, if you're a huge comedian, you now start playing in the rooms of 1,000. If you're Conor McLeod, who does 700 seaters every day, you're making serious money. Serious money.
The other one that I really thought was funny, I was at Blackpool this February, we were downstairs and there was a couple kind of looking at me. And I was like, what have I done? And they'd been to my Edinburgh show and they came over. And it was a lovely, because I am, it's a little Edinburgh show, but I was around a couple of other musicians, Liam and Marcus, and suddenly some people go, hey, are you Paul Regan? Isn't it? I'm like, yeah, I am, it's my entourage, how's it going? So that was lovely.
That's excellent.
Yeah, but you got to, I think Bones is right. You go to Edinburgh, you have to look at it as a long-term thing, if that's how you're looking at it. You can look at it in other ways, to just do crazy stuff and experiences. I think it's multifaceted. There's many different good reasons for going to Edinburgh. There is career, marketing, there's experimental, there's just the atmosphere and the vibe you can click into. There are so many reasons to
I came back so inspired and so I'm actually starting my Edinburgh Fringe show next year now.
Wow.
I'm doing mine. I've got a gig next month where I'm practicing it.
Yeah, literally I've started writing it, because you go there, you see so many different types of shows, so many ideas, you come back saying, wow. And I kind of bought a show that I felt was safe. I didn't really challenge myself as much as I could have. And now I'm like, do you know what? Okay, I've seen it, I've kind of worked out how it all works. Did a really good run, sold out the entire run. Great. Now I want to go back next year, and now I want to do a 5-star show. I want to do something where it's like, this is
If you're going as an audience member, by the way, I would recommend going to 1 or 2 of the bigger shows, the kind of underbellies, and you can see amazing guys. But please also do go to the little shows as well. They're so much fun. I saw stuff. My personal favourite was the history of pop in an hour, and basically it was like different comedians every night just singing like short sections from pop from like the 30s right through. So you just see crazy stuff.
My favourite shows I saw was The Fisherman, which was an amazing play by which was about 2 Nigerian fishermen, and I saw a play called Sold, which was in a small room in the attic, just in the Pleasance.
That's it. So you see these tiny little things, and you see massive. It's just so much stuff to see.
That's excellent. So thank you for that.
Look at Brendan. There's such a show. I bit off so much more than I could chew on this one.
I thought this was going to be a 5 to 10 minute interview, but this has turned out to be about a 30-minute interview. But I think it's good information, so I want to thank you, Bones, for this. Thank you, Paul. You're a regular on this channel. I know people love you. Bones, I'm going to interview him very soon, so you'll see more Bones. We talk about his breakdancing thing and everything. But until next time, I'll see you guys. But before I leave, I want to thank Mario for filming behind the scenes. So thank you, Mario, for this. Don't forget to like and comment on this. And don't forget to like and comment on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
You got to be looking cool at all times.
Oh. Yeah,
that's a great start.
That's good. I've got a better deck of cards. I was wondering if you're trying to do my trick there, where you're trying to do the backflip thing.
No, just Brendan like.
I'm not as rich as you, so I have seconds. That's
no. These are Costco.
Oh,
these are not good cards. I mean, they're fine.
What is happening? What is happening? Okay, let's start.